Which car should I take today? Well, gas is really expensive. I'm gonna go with the V8. Hello, YouTube! Today is a special day. Not just because it is my 27th car, but because this car is actually two firsts. And the first of which is a second. This is the second Mercury Grand Marquis that I've purchased, which makes it the first time I've bought the same kind of car that I have bought before. The second thing that makes this special, and it makes it potentially the most special car I've owned, is this car belonged to my grandparents, and before that belonged to my grandparents' father. So this is the third generation of my family that has been in this car, and I'm certain I have talked about it on this channel before, how much I have always wanted a hand-me-down car. And hand-me-down has such a negative connotation. You're like, oh, hand-me-downs. No, I've always wanted a car that belonged to a parent, a grandparent. You know, it's something about it. Like, car guys understand. Like, getting your dad's car as your first car or your grandparents' car, even if it's a crappy car, it means something. And in this case, it's not a crappy car. Rear-wheel drive, V8, bench seat. These things are mint. This particular one, not so much. It's got quite a bit of rust. Every time you put the brakes on, the little brake light comes on. So hopefully it's not going to need that much work, but who knows. Another thing about this car, it's the first one I've actually had delivered. So all I had to do was just sit on my butt and the tow truck pulled up, dropped her off. I do have the actual Mercury rims, or wheels. I'll put them on soon, but yeah, like, I didn't notice this before, but when I first saw this, I'm like, that's gonna be a problem, because at the very least, I think that means the quarter panel has to be replaced. And I'm not gonna lie, if I do get the quarter panel replaced, I think I'm not gonna paint it. You know, just that little extra piece of uniqueness that it's gonna be the wrong color. Because normally, it's a big American V8 boat, I would want to leave it stock. Or at least on the outside. You know, I do the subtle things that, like I'm doing with the truck, CB, megaphone, air horn. There's another thing. There's so much space behind the front grille. I am definitely going to be putting in the megaphone and an air horn, even if I have to get a new one. I'm pretty sure that's one of those little deer thingies that spooks deer so they don't stop in front of the car. But, yeah, unfortunately with the wheels in it, you can't really see inside much. And it's weird. I'm going to have to pull up the videos of my old Grand Mercury. And I know that mine was a much higher trim because it had the fancy, ugly back thing where it's like vinyl from here back. And it was leather and gold. But this dash looks absolutely unfamiliar to me. And there's another thing. They've got the CD up front. Maybe that's what's throwing me off. Because my Grand Mercury, or Grand Marquis, had a 6-disc changer in the back, not the front, so you had to get out to put CDs in the back. But yeah, like I said, normally I would try to keep it. Just a second. It was literally my grandparents calling to see if I'd gotten it yet. But yeah, no, bench seat, which it means the world to me, although it really is just two split seats. They just connect. I mean, yeah, and then, yeah, it is they do have the third seating there. Oh, hey, a Poppy. The number of cars I have purchased that have come with a Poppy starting to outnumber the cars that didn't come with a Poppy. But for those of you not familiar, this is the same V8 that comes in the Mustangs of these years, but it's I don't know if this one is down tuned or if the one in the Mustang is tuned up, but I think it's 200 horsepower, 285 pounds of torque, capable of towing 2,000 pounds, or if you're an idiot, 4,800 pounds for about 800 kilometers, and then the next 1,000 kilometers the thermostat will be blown to shit and you'll be stalling every time you lift off the pedal, and then you got to get it towed the rest of the way. For those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, see the videos about me going to Nova Scotia, because I literally destroyed my last one. But oh man. And when you take this cover off, it's the manifold on top. It actually looks like a half decent motor. But ooh, I love V8s. V8s are just V great. But yeah, so I gotta. Oh right, like I was saying, I think what I might do with this car is, I think instead of my usual modus operandi, which is keeping it stock, and instead of going for a specific build, I think I might just go with like just everything I've wanted to do to a car, do to this car. Because like obviously the megaphone, and now that I've put one air horn in a car, I have to put an air horn in every car. That's literally how it works. That's just the rules. But obviously megaphone, air horn, might even stick a light bar behind the grill. But I've still got the basket off of my Ford Escape. So what I'm kind of thinking is maybe I'll get one of those roof racks that mounts underneath the doors and then put the roof rack on, and I don't know. I have actually seen these with from factory with a factory trunk rack, but I can't imagine you need one. You can fit like 7 bodies in the car. One thing that blew me away, I guess my Grand Marquis, the one I had before, just didn't have the spare in it, but this one actually is a full-size spare, like the rim and everything. I did not expect that at all, because that just hasn't happened in so long. But as for the truck, it's got a little light bar on it now because the high beams are pointed in the wrong direction. Like one high beam is pointed like straight down, and the other high beam is pointed over there. And the fog lights, it has fog lights, but they don't work. And honestly, I don't care enough to really figure out what's wrong with them. What I did think about doing is putting a light cube in each hole where the fog lights are from, but the plan with the truck, if this thing gets inspected and roadworthy for very, very, very little money, I think I'll put the truck up for sale and hopefully get enough to, you know, pay off some credit card debt. I don't want to sell it. Like, it's just, I love this thing. I want to keep it forever. But 2 V8s in the middle of the greatest friggin' price gouge in the history of gasoline, it's poor timing to say the least. But yeah, something I've noticed the last, like, all of the YouTube videos I've been doing, I keep forgetting to say goodbye to y'all, so peace.